Hey Deepak, welcome to Founder Journeys. Great to have you on the pod. And I know it's been a while in the making, and you've been pretty busy building stuff. And uh, overall, it's been a while. I think we've been trying to make this happen.
First of all, yeah, thanks for having me, Sanjeev. Finally, it's good to be here. My name is Deepak, and I'm co-founder and CEO of Gracker AI. So we are building a growth hacking engine for cybersecurity companies.
So on Founder Journeys, what we do typically is we like to go into the background story of every founder, right? So let's kind of rewind a little bit and talk about where did this whole entrepreneurship thing start. I know this is not your first startup. So if you could kind of dive into what inspired you to go down this path.
Yeah, so it started actually when I was in college. So back probably like around 15 years ago. So when I started my first, you can say startup or like a web application back then, I was doing my undergrad in India in computer science. So I thought, like, yeah, let's build something cool, let's build something interesting. And that's where I started, just built a small web application. Um, and that was the start of the entrepreneurship. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I didn't know many things. Internet was new back then. So the key objective, the key idea for me is just to build something interesting, build something different, something that would solve the pain for normal users, like what they are having struggle in day-to-day life, or something that would add value to them. So that was the key intention behind my entrepreneur journey. I learned a lot of things from my family. My family is from business background, so that's where I saw growing up how people work hard, how they build things, and that's where I started thinking when I grew up is like, yeah, I want to build something. I want to do something cool, something interesting, something different that would help people solve something. So that's where I started.
Okay. And this is your earliest startup. You said you initially started with trying to solve problems, and then not all of them worked the way you intended. So what is the most important learning that you had at that time, the early stage time that you kind of applying in today's startup?
So the early stage, I think the couple of small venture I started, the one of them got a little bit of traction was like an education startup that I started during my grad in Chicago. So I did my master's from Chicago, and that's where I had a couple of friends, and then we were like, yeah, let's build something to solve like ed tech issue, and that's where we built a whiteboarding kind of tool back then. I think 2009, 2010. And we got a little bit of traction. We actually talked to some of the schools here in Chicago, New York. But the biggest challenge was the team. Like looking back now is like team is very important. So if you want to build something, you should have a really good team who believe in the idea, who believe in what you are doing, who believe in the products. That's the biggest learning. And then when I launched my I would say third startup back then is like in 2013 or 2014, and that actually got pretty successful. Like Logan Radius, it was a authentication platform. We ended up raising a lot of money for that, but for that one, definitely the team was important. We built a solid team. We had good investors. We had good customers, good partners. So that I concluded last year, and that's where the current startup that I'm working on, Gracker AI, the key objective, the problem I came from my last company, where the biggest challenge for B2B SaaS is how do you grow? How do you bring that PLG motion to the growth? How do you do the faster scaling, faster growth? And that's where I did a lot of experiment. And a few months ago, about like 8, 9 months ago, I started this Grekker, where solving the challenge for B2B SaaS on the organic growth and product-led scaling.
So you mentioned that your previous product was in the authentication space, and now this is more Gracker is kind of looking at cybersecurity as well, right?
Marketing, yeah,
Uh,
it's more around marketing than focusing on the deep tech infrastructure. Yeah.
okay, it's more focused on the marketing side of it, but
Yeah.
um, the ecosystem that you worked in with the last startup, obviously you're thinking that because it was enterprise, so it would make sense that rather it would have automatically helped you with this one, right? Meaning you already have an ecosystem to sell to.
Yes, I definitely sold it to a lot of enterprises, and I have a lot of people I know. like industries or companies who are having a similar challenge. So it definitely helps.
A lot of times when startup founders, they are focused on building stuff, they are great at solving the product problem, but that is just the one side of it, of the story. But get taking to market, and that go to market motion is not that easy, and you realize that only once you get there and you build a community, and then you can kind of get traction there, right? So I
100%.
think that's where I was coming from when I was asking you that.
Yeah, distribution is definitely one of the key thing. I mean, product is important. I'm not saying product is not important, but distribution is very important. How do you distribute? How do you do the go to market motion to your product? Absolutely, I learned a lot, did a lot of experiments, and like how do you and then the product we are building, actually it is in GTM space, so we have to do a good job at our own product GTM. Otherwise
Right.
nobody's going to believe us. So but yes, distribution is still a challenge. Even if you have done 2 or 3 startups, like I see a lot of entrepreneurs who have been successful first time, second time, but it's not like necessary that okay, you have a lot of experience and knowledge, you would be able to distribute it at the third time. So I mean, you have to figure it out, the distribution at every stage, at every startup, and every product is different, every market is different, every niche is different, so there are a lot of variations to it, and market is evolving with AI, a lot of things are changing. So that's
Yeah.
another, even if you have done it even 5 years ago, now the market is completely different than what it was.
It's an interesting thing you said. With every new product idea, of course, one thing that is changing is the user who's buying your product. So even though you may have access to a community, who you're selling to when it comes to enterprise, and who takes a decision to buy into your product, is varying every time you go out, right? Meaning,
Right.
depending on what product you're pushing out there. That is one factor. Second is, of course, as you said, with AI, there's so much of change happening. People are getting disrupted overnight because of one update. How is that whole game happening? Meaning, how is that ecosystem playing out for you currently?
Actually, luckily for us, it's it's a positive. It's not negative, because as you see, like a lot of these big companies, big AI companies like OpenAI, Claude, Gemini, like all these ones, they are launching a lot of these small features that a lot of small AI startups have. But the kind of system we are building in Grekker is we are not just relying on AI, but we are relying on a lot of data sources. So we are actually integrating. We are sort of like leveraging various type of data sources, various types of partners. So uh, if let's say I would be building like a small wrapper or something on top of OpenAI or Claude, like uh, like what happened with these code pilots, it like Claude came up with their own code
Yeah.
pilot, right? It overnight wiped out a lot of them, small ones, right? So I think uh, in the age of AI, like if you do something, like if something grows fast, it's gonna drop down fast. Like it's like as simple as that. So, but if you take time to build something, if you have a good partner ecosystem, if you build it nicely, it's gonna be hard to replace, even if these big AI giants maybe launch something in the same space.
Okay.
So going back to your question, yes, it is actually helping us because as the AI is getting more advanced, our system is getting advanced because as we are pulling data from various sources and we are solving the problem of large scale growth, it is actually helping us. Businesses are having more challenges in our space for GTM, so that is actually helping us to talk to customers more and then at least having better customer acquisition.
The previous role that you were very much on the technical side of things, right? And now,
That is
do
correct.
you see that role change into more of a marketing side of things and more outgoing side of things? Has a whole pattern of managing things in the startup changed for you a lot?
Not too much. So I actually, in my previous startup, I was definitely leading the tech. I started the building the product myself. I was more on the tech side, but at the same time, the product was too deep in the infrastructure, cybersecurity. I had to do a lot of things, even in the marketing and sales front, because it is very hard for enterprise customers to explain the product, what it is, even nitty gritty of like deep authentication and things like that, right? So I had to get in front of customer. I had to figure it out, the growth hack, marketing, and lot of key elements. So definitely it was a learning that time, but I don't think so it has changed. And now, as you know, with AI, you don't need a large team. You don't need like a massive team of people. Like you can automate a lot of your own things, and then you can simplify things. So it has shifted a bit, but I wouldn't say like it has shifted drastically.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you don't need a large team, and which is true. In fact, I read somewhere on Twitter today, or rather X as we call it now, uh, that it's the time we are now living in the time of the solopreneur, right? It's a matter of time that we're going to see a single founder unicorn, and the dependency on VCs is a little bit lesser. Again, these are just kind of narratives that are out there. How much do you think that is true, or being more relevant?
I mean, that's where the market is heading. So it's still gonna take time. I mean, it's not gonna happen, I would say, another 2, 3 years. But
Mhm.
down the line, if you look at it, uh, 3, 5 years down the line, as things are getting more and more automated, more and more simple, more and more easy, not just like product development, but like even go to market, like even sales motion, customer success, like HR, finance, recruitment, like every places you see like small AI tools, uh, AI companies coming in. So, for instance, like for HR, right? Earlier, you need to have at least like 4 or 5 people for all the resume scanning.
Various functions, yeah.
Yeah, now it's like just simplified, consolidated into one, and then you just need like probably, I don't think so you even need a full dedicated HR person now. You can just have your team manage it, right? Same with product development. Like things are getting a little bit more consolidated, more simple, more automated. So hopefully down the line in coming years, I won't say solopreneurs, but I would say like a team of 10 people can do what probably like team of 100 people can do back then.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that, and as we have the smaller team, as things are automated, the expense will gonna go down. So obviously you don't need hundreds of millions of dollars to build $1 billion company. You can raise like 10, $20 million, and then you can build a $1 billion company. So the efficiency of the money will gonna increase a lot, and it would accelerate your growth as things will gonna go further, and you don't need to spend too much money on the acceleration.
Talking about, let's come to the product that you're building today, and you mentioned that you're deep on the AI side of things, and you're helping the go to market process for enterprises. Are you working in a specific segment, or is it like a broad industry agnostic product?
We are actually, so my background is cybersecurity, as I mentioned. Like, so last 15 years, I did my master's in cybersecurity, and my first successful company is sort of like a cybersecurity, right? So initially, when we started speaking out the product, it was, or it is still focused towards cybersecurity. The reason I'm saying more B2B SaaS is like now we have a lot of companies reaching out to us that, hey, we are not in cybersecurity. Can you help us out? And we did actually. We were like, okay, it's fine. The product is there. Let's see if we can help you. We also helped some cybersecurity communities, and it worked well. So we are, our focus is still cybersecurity, but couple of, I would say, few customers we are serving, they are non-cybersecurity. So that's why we are now thinking of expanding our product into more B2B SaaS space, general B2B SaaS. The key focus for this product for Grekker is B2B SaaS companies, the market here, right? If you look at marketing people, like there is a lot of buzz going on. You can write like blog, you can write ad copies, you can write like a lot of things can be done by the marketing team through AI. But the biggest challenge they still have is anything that they want to deploy on their product or website, or even their, like you call like a product led portals that they create. They still need help from like developers, designers, other team. It's
Mhm.
like it takes long time. So even like when I talk about myself in my previous experience, right, we had a team of 10 people, and then we were like there were some developers, designers in the same team, and marketing people. They were part of like helping in the growth hacking or growth kind of like growing the PLG motion. So what we are building in Grekker is we are empowering the marketing team where they don't need to rely on developers and designers, and they can launch something very, very quickly. So when they create these product-led portals, when they think about some ideas or thoughts, hey, my the product that I'm that we are building, it's solving this pain point. How can we quickly launch some resources, some tools, some guides for the audience, where they can quickly see that, hey, this is the platform we are building that is helping them. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, uh, we are giving the tool set to marketing team, where instead of taking 3 months or 6 months to build some resources, they can go live in like a few hours. They can just drag and drop things, and then they can just quickly go live with that.
So when you say resources, from a go-to-market process standpoint, what do these consist of typically?
So it could be anything. Like there are like various of them. Like it could be like a knowledge base. It could be a glossary. It could be like when we talk about in cybersecurity, it could be like notification of data breaches, notification of vulnerabilities, anything that product is solving the pain point. How can you educate your customers about your company? So when they look in the market, when they search, how can you get ahead from your competition? How can you say that, hey, we have all these resources, we are expert in this field, we have built all these cool tools. Think about it, like we used to build like all these white papers to educate our enterprise customers. So similar to that, if you can build all of those resources where they can understand, they can see the value of your product, and then they're aware of your brand, and then slowly they can become your paid customers.
Okay. So basically, if I'm building a product, I can quickly use your tool to seamlessly update product glossary, how to documentation, help documentation, right? That's one aspect of it, which is knowledge base that is kind of integrated with the product. That is one. And then I can also extract excerpts of that and create marketing blurbs. Is that
Yes.
what you're saying? Right?
Yeah.
Or let's say
Yeah.
case studies and use cases and stuff like that.
The one of the biggest thing in this space, or this particular thing, is like a lot of creative companies, they have to integrate with a lot of third party resources, like third party databases. So like some companies do it location based, some companies do it based on the integration, like for vulnerabilities, if you talk about specifically cybersecurity, data breaches, those premium data sources are very hard to integrate, and doing it in real time is impossible. Like let's say if a new data breach comes in, new vulnerability comes in, new security issue comes in, it is very hard. Like hard meaning that it takes like few days to get them onto your product. So we are making it easier, that all the integrations are available for the customers, and then they can just quickly drag and drop, and then they can create their product led portal. So they don't need to waste days, and then once they set it up, it would be automated.
So what are some examples of these integrations? What type of products do your customers typically integrate with?
So like I said, in cybersecurity, if you talk about it, it's like a lot of like data breach portal, vulnerability portal. We have a list on the website. I don't know if
But
we can
these
share.
are but these are standard branded retail products that are out there.
No. So these are the databases. These are the open databases.
Okay,
They are
that's
not
what
the
I wanted
code.
to
Yeah,
clarify. Okay, got
yeah,
it. Huh.
yeah. Those are open databases available. But how you utilize them, how do you integrate with your product? That is the big challenge for
Okay.
marketeers.
So these are open databases available to everybody in the industry pretty
Yes.
for free.
For free, yeah. Some of
Yeah.
them,
Okay.
a lot of them are free. Some of them are premium. Some of them are paid. So
Yeah,
we
that's fine.
partner.
Meaning you can subscribe to more premium content, but in general, these are databases that are available out there. That
Absolutely.
and so where I'm going with this is I was trying to understand where you're training on, what kind of data for a particular industry, and
Yeah.
then how easy is it to onboard a new industry. Now, if you kind of expand your capabilities and provide your services to different industries, do all let me rephrase this a bit. How easy is it to find similar open databases to train and build a strong knowledge base driven output for?
So it is not easy to do it for different industry. That's why like our primary focus is still cybersecurity. But as we get a customer from different industry, um, let's say if we get a customer from like an email marketing solution, or if we get a customer from some like AI solution, right? We had to find the data. We had to build it in the format that we support. So it is not easy first time, but once we figure it out, how we consume the data and how we structure the data, then we can serve that industry well. It is challenging for initial few customers in a new industry. Once we have that, you can say pipeline, then would be just drag and drop for the customers to use it.
Got it. But the other thing is, when it comes to enterprise, a lot of marketing, a lot of, see, everybody's looking at creating the differentiator, right?
Right.
And when it comes to content as well, their products are very unique. So outside of the general process related documentation, everything else is niche. A second is, it's all behind their wall garden, right? Which they don't want to share really most of the time, right? Because that's on, maybe it could be IP, maybe it is just kind of that's their moat. So how do you navigate that?
So yeah, that is actually very interesting, very good question, and that's what we are working on now. Is if a customer has their own proprietary data, or a industry has some proprietary data, how do we consume it just for that customer? How do we train AI model, and then how do we uh, use that for that particular customer? So that's one of the things that we are working on right now. So that's the biggest challenge. Actually, we are working with a couple of customers on that. They have their own proprietary data, they have their own proprietary model. So we are actually building the integrations for some custom data sources for them, where we bring their data and it would be only used for that company. It won't be shared to any other customers. It won't be even used by our own AI models. It would be just for them, and then customer will get value. But yeah, that's a very it's a
It's a
actually
well-known
ongoing.
problem. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Especially in enterprise. Whoever, anybody who's done enterprise and has tried to automate stuff for enterprise, this has been a problem for many, many years now.
absolutely.
So yeah, usually that's where the whole on-premise implementation, requirement comes in, and then you all kinds of security loopholes that hoops that you got to jump through to make sure that you're, compliant. All those things come into
Absolutely.
play,
Yeah,
right?
that's where all these single tenant on-prem, all these things comes in, where customer
Correct.
have like their own confidential private security requirement, where they have to do things their own way. But yes, and that's where the challenge comes in as a SaaS or even AI solution. Since we have experience dealing with, like I said, in my previous startup, I did a lot of single tenant implementation on-prem deployments. Like I know how enterprise works, but like we just came across with this thing like a few weeks ago, so now we are it's a good problem to have actually. So we are now
Yeah.
building something for
Yeah.
custom data sources.
The next problem typically in this pipeline is, once you kind of are working on a smaller set of data that is very unique to a customer, then how do you ensure that your model delivers with the right accuracy? That becomes the
That's true.
next challenge, because then you can't, you're working in a limited set of data, as well as you need to kind of, the whole training of the model loop becomes very, very focused, right? So very little bandwidth you have to work with while delivering very high. Yeah, every client wants 99% accuracy, most of them,
Oh yeah.
right?
But I think the good thing about this particular space, like if you have a custom data source or a small
Mhm.
data source, the hallucination with AI is even less. Like if you have more data, like if you have like 100 gigs or even 1 terabyte of data, then it's the hallucination is even insane, that you have to have a lot of guardrails around it. But if you have, let's say, a like small amount of data, I think AI, some of the AI model work really well. They don't hallucinate too much, so actually it helps in this particular segment where we can optimize the model very efficiently.
So, um, what I've observed over time, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, most enterprise workflows or processes are linked into very specific data, right? Let's say, let's take any product. And if I am a user and I have a problem, my problem is going to be focused on a specific thing I'm trying to do with the product. It's already very niche. So when you're training to answer that problem of mine or solve that problem of mine, you can have a model that is only focused on that problem area, really, or that feature of the product, right? So have you considered kind of setting things up from a technical standpoint, where you can, kind of chunk data into smaller sets and drive an automation that is highly focused only on solving specific workflows?
Um, I think, yeah, I think that's the similar kind of uh, process we do. Like we have like huge amount of data. So first we split the data. Like if it's, we categorize the data in a way that whether the data is like, let's say, like a news, like a security news, or like classify the data, not category, but like classify the data in various segments. And then even in that classification, we break down the data. So I think that's definitely, you are right. Like that's how it should be solved. And like that way you can get efficient result as well as quality results.
Yeah, so that for a specific process, you are working in a smaller ecosystem for that process only. So it's
Yes.
like how you have knowledge bases that are you have sub knowledge bases that cater to a specific, very focused workflow or a very
Yes.
focused problem area, and that becomes much easier when it comes to enterprises. So that you're then managing. Even think about it like department-wise agents, right? So
Right.
your product can actually be a agentic enough for a specific subdivision or subdepartment of an enterprise, and you'll have multiple
Yeah.
instances like that.
Yeah. The more you granular you go, the more like specific focused you do. I think AI can do much better rather than just
Exactly.
focus as a whole. Yeah, you
Yeah.
are right. I think that's how the whole industry, AI industry, is evolving. All these new agents workflow coming in with a smaller subset of things that they can solve.
Yeah, which is where I was. So I'm thinking that then that gives you a lot more runway in terms of creating multiple sub product or sub offerings for a particular industry. So you don't even have to think about broader industry scopes, just a single industry, but broader process scopes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like first, that's why our key focus is still like cybersecurity. Because if we can penetrate cybersecurity, if we build all these processes, and in cybersecurity, that's one of the biggest challenge, because you are targeting the technical audience. You are talking to like CISO, CIOs, and if you don't provide them quality resources, it's not going to work out, right? And so far, we have been very successful with a lot of our customers in cybersecurity. Like we have built those models so that actually helps our customers accelerate that growth. And now, once we go into different industry, we can utilize similar model. We definitely have to change the data source and a few of the things in the backend, but that would help a new industry as well, because we have figured out like a model in one of the niche. So that's why in the beginning we did not start with like the whole B2B SaaS segment.
So when it comes to B2B SaaS now, so which are the areas that are most challenged right now with these problems of data across the entire life cycle of a SaaS product, right? You have, so where do you see the sweet spot right now, wherein there's a lot of need, but there's not enough people trying to solve it, wherein you can kind of really get the edge?
The biggest challenge in cybersecurity, as I was just saying earlier, I can expand a little bit on that, is like both side is technical audience. Like when I look at myself, like I built a cybersecurity product myself. I was a tech founder. I had no clue about marketing. I had no clue about the growth. I had to learn it, but not many people learn it. Like I did learn it. I did a lot of experiments and things like that, but not many tech people wants to learn marketing or growth or even getting in front of the customers, right? So that's where I think that's why we picked this niche, and that's one of the thing that is helping. But if you talk about other aspect of it, like other part of B2B SaaS, I would say we haven't explored too much. Like I said, we have a few customers like in email marketing segment. Some of them are in AI agent or AI agentic tool segment, where we are integrating the data sources. So we are still exploring, but I would say AI agentic workflows, like specific niche, like we were talking about like recruitment, an example before, right? So some areas, some specific SaaS areas where this AI agent is solving the problem. So how you can build the resources, how you can build the value around it, it is an interesting problem. And um, I mean, for us also, it's challenging. Obviously, like there is more competition, as you know. Like now, it's easy to launch a product, so there is much more competition. So how do you stand out against other products? So if we can help them with our technology and the kind of data sources we are building, I think that, like I said, I don't have answer, but we will see how things are gonna go, and how we
Yeah,
can.
no, even I was trying to understand where exactly is the sweet spot for your product. The whole idea was the my question is more about trying to discover what are the problems you see, and what are the opportunities you see that you could hit very clearly, or you may kind of get into, and then things may evolve, which is how it always works. I get that.
So one of the big opportunity, I think you mentioned about it. So one of the big opportunity, as you have seen, like the search is changing a lot. right? So when you search for a product right now, you say, hey, what are the top 10 whatever AI solution or recruitment solution? It's gonna, earlier it used to give you, Google used to give you like 20 resources. You have to go link by link. You have to see all the reviews on different G2 and some of the various sources, right? And then you can rank and things. But now, in last year or so, things have changed now. Now you say, hey, top 5 solution in recruitment, and it just give you the list of like things. Top 5 solution in authentication, it gives you the list of solution, right? You don't even need to go investigate and research and anything. Like, it just brings a lot of things to the the top of the AI mode, would you call it, right? Or answer engine. So that's one of the big opportunity for us, is since the user is not even interacting with your content or your resources, that actually is another big thing for us, is how can we, as a working with customers, like how can we bring that value for our customers, where the end consumer will come to their website or their product to learn more about it. So like, what kind of valuable resources or tool set they can provide, where user have to come to their site. Like, they cannot just see it in the AI mode or AI summary. It's not just a content, it has to be a valuable resource that they have to come to check it out or play with it or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's getting very tricky, right? Because first up, email marketing was a big thing a few years ago. Now there is so many, everybody's just kind of doubling down and doing automated email marketing, and then everything is hitting. Even if nobody cares about the emails that are coming, you have to really work on content. Even great content is become very common now. So there's a lot of noise everywhere. And now with Google moving the AI way, and Google is giving the answers directly instead of help, pushing you to explore and go through pages, this become a different problem altogether. So you're
Yeah.
right. But we don't see very clear options even going ahead, right? Meaning, what are the channels? Then you can talk about, let's say, social media channels, but then that's such a non-technical thing. You cannot imagine a highly technical guy going and doing a pitch on Instagram or a TikTok, right, to get an
Yeah,
audience.
definitely.
And that's also not where the audience is.
Yeah.
So real practical problems. But again, on the flip side, I've always believed that technical products have been discovered by getting listed on very focused, communities like, let's say, the Hacker News community or the G2 community. So if that is already there, and that's an established mode of putting your product out and getting traction, and technical products usually sell based on if the product does something really cool and really well, automatically product led growth, the community will push that product up because it's useful for everybody. So when you look at it that way, um, where does how does your offering of marketing fit in? Because a technical guy may also say that, no, we'll put a product on this community. We're already there. So why do we
Right.
need you?
So yeah. So first of all, you are absolutely right that there are communities that, right, like even Hackers News, G2, even Reddit, some of the good communities out there where you can place your product on Hackers News, you can place your product on Reddit. The key thing is getting the traction. Definitely having a best product like that solves the problem. Even amazing marketing cannot solve that, right? Like, let's say if your product doesn't work, even
No
if you
amount of
do
marketing is going to save it.
amazing.
Correct.
So let's say,
Yeah.
the first of all, the first thing is the product works. It's all the pain point, right? Now, even if you push it to communities, it has to be visible, right? You have to try different messaging. You have to provide more value to your audience, right? Like, so that's what we do. Like, we not just create like one resource or one tool set, we create multiple of them based on understanding the product. So what we do is we scan a lot of things. So we scan the product that the company we are working with, we scan their competition, we scan what is in the industry. So if, again, going back to the example of cybersecurity, what is going on in the cybersecurity industry and what their ICP would be looking for. So few of the dots we connect, and that's where we come up with, let's say, 5, 10, 15 different types of resources. Our customers can quickly experiment, quickly see, and then push it to those communities, those resources, and see which one works, which one doesn't work. So instead of that, if, let's say, Grekker is not there, they have to build those 10 resources by themselves. It would take them, let's say, 6 to 9 months to create it and push it. We are accelerating that time so they can try it out, the whole same thing in 2 to 4 weeks, and figure it out which one works and which one doesn't work, so they can get faster visibility, faster growth, and the product is already working fine. Like product is solving the pain point, so the customer will come into their product and then they purchase it. So we are
Okay.
accelerating their timeline, also identifying the things that they cannot identify themselves, because we have built those data models based on all the other companies who have created that tool sets in that industry.
It's an interesting point you bring up when you say you're identifying various points and factors out there based on analysis. That leads me to my next question about this, wherein what kind of data analytics are you offering along with this? For example, if I'm creating an asset using Grekker, what kind of insights are you providing for me to kind of improve on things or give feedback to your product so that it generates a better asset the next time around?
So we do pretty much like the standard what you see in the marketing, like how much traction you are getting. So first of all, which region most of the traffic is coming from. So whether it's coming from the US, let's say Canada, Europe, or different geography. So where your product is getting more traction, what resources or tool set that we are building, which ones are getting popular, and then which ones are bringing, what kind of audience they are bringing in. So we have like a little bit of the region specific, the geography region, as well as the type of resources, and then the type of audience is bringing in, and what type of platform they are bringing in. And then another big thing that we do, once we have understanding of all these three things, like what kind of things are working, how can we accelerate it further, how can we build more tool set and resources in this particular category and segment, by reading their real-time search console activity. So as you see, right, Google Search Console still is one of the popular. So our system connect with their search console. It reads 24/7, like a real time, what's going on, what kind of users are coming in, where are they coming from, what are they reading, and things like that, what kind of things they are consuming, even resources. And then we automatically actually create more and more recommendations. So going back to your question, yeah, analytics. So we have like analytics on what is working, what is not working, and how can we optimize, if we can, the things that are not working.
Okay, so you're basically overlaying it with Google Analytics or Google
Yes.
Search, meaning UTM parameters, basically.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
got it. If I'm creating an asset using a tool like yours, I would be very interested in looking at A/B testing, create different variations of the asset, because from a marketing perspective, right? I use two different use cases and put it out and then track it to a particular audience. And then I want to see which has got better engagement, things like that. The other question is, for product leaders who are building products and who have in-product help, right? Content pieces that come up while the user is navigating or working with the product. Um, is that also being generated through your product?
So no, so right now we don't do that. We have been seeing some requests from some of the customers that, hey, can we do some new product specs and things like that? But so far we haven't been able to got to that. We are right now just focusing on the marketing aspect of it, but we haven't gotten to the product aspect of it internally.
Yeah, because that would be, if there is someone who's looking at product-led marketing or product-led growth, then that would be a very core area of interest.
Yeah, some of the, yeah. So let's say if you are, yeah, you are right. Like if you are releasing a new feature or new product, how can you create those growth elements for those new products? So definitely
Yeah.
that would be the area that we will be looking at. Yeah.
You mentioned that you're talking to CIOs, CSOs who are kind of taking the decision to try out your product, right? Is that your ideal customer right now?
No, so we are working with cybersecurity companies, but our target customers are more like CMOs, like marketing audience,
Marketing
GTM
audience.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, who want to accelerate their growth, accelerate their product-led motion. So,
Okay.
but their customers are CIOs and CISOs, like the one they are working with.
So my previous question was more to kind of segue into a potential area that I wanted to know if you've considered this. A lot of agencies today work with tech companies and product companies and create their marketing collateral, right? They sign up on massive retainers and they have teams who are just sitting and doing a lot of thinking, analyzing, and then they're not necessarily technical. They are marketers, and then they need to work with clients and their technical teams to really understand the nuances of what the product does technically, as well as get clarity on what the client wants to use as a marketing push because of an industry that they work in, right? That takes a lot of time, which is what I'm thinking you indicate in terms of 6 to 9 months, because it goes through a whole process.
Yes.
So do you see agencies as your customers as well? Because they could kind of reduce the amount of time they need. They can continue to go and sell to the same product companies, because product companies don't want to spend time thinking about marketing. Instead, they'll
Right.
just say existing agencies there, they have somebody to hold accountable, and then the agencies will go and just say we can do things much faster.
Yes, so actually you are right. So some of the customers, big customers we are working with, actually we are working with through agencies, and we are onboarding some large agencies as well, not just in the US but in Europe also. Some regional agencies where they are working in specific languages like German and French and things like that. So absolutely, agency is a big route in this space, because uh, agencies lack the technical capabilities of product like this, and then they already have customers. Their go to market is longer. So with using Grekker, they have accelerated their go to market for their customers. So it's win-win for everybody. It's win-win for customers, for agencies, and for us.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is from a product perspective, I know text is the primary area we go to when it comes to automating stuff and generating stuff. But how are you looking at the multimodality of it all? Because there is more and more focus on multimedia access, right? Video, audio. A lot of products that are coming out are voice first. A lot of marketing content is visual. So how does Gracker fit into that whole uh, process flow?
So we have seen actually, yeah, the requests coming in a lot, especially for video content or video libraries and things. We have not actually gotten around it, but we definitely are looking into it, and probably in next few months we're gonna launch something. But yeah, video and some visual component of these things are still, I mean, it's still evolving in AI, still in very early phase, and we are looking into it. A lot of actually customers agencies has asked about it. Hey, can we do something like this? Like the main thing for us is delivering the quality. So if we don't have that good quality, then it would be waste of everybody's time, I guess, if we do that. So we are focusing on first, like the current tools and resources, we can do a very amazing quality, and then slowly we can push it to more like uh, either video, audio, even research paper, PDF, a lot of other things that we can expand into.
Yeah. No, the reason why I asked you that, Deepak, is more because you have companies that are purely focusing on video generation for marketing, right? As well as audio generation for market. So you have the VO3s of the world that people are kind of playing around with and doing a lot of interesting things. So wouldn't it make sense for you to have integrations ready for you, allowing agencies to use their licenses with those products and just kind of quickly build up stuff on top of what the underlying asset remains yours, but you're embellishing with plugins that deliver the video component of it. So it doesn't have to be something that you sit and build on. Again, I'm just this is like
Yeah, yeah,
conceptual, okay? Because I understand already that there'll be challenges with regard to IP and stuff, but
yeah.
that could be a way of looking at it, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah, to do things faster, like we will probably not gonna build a whole audio video LLM or something, right? We will gonna partner with these companies, but how we filter, how we utilize that, that's gonna be the main thing, right?
Yeah.
So even now, let's say we partner with Cloud, OpenAI, and Gemini, right? But we don't necessarily use their, like we use selected models, we use refine the things. So even though we will gonna be probably gonna use we will not going to build the whole LLM by ourselves, because we are not in that business. So our objective is, yes, we still use V or some video generation tool, but we have to give the quality to our customers that they should be able to do um, the output in a good way, right? So that's the sort of like putting a layer on top of LLM, even with our assets or customers' assets. So that is still challenging. It's not that, like, it's not widely adoptable, and I don't think so. There are many successful use cases on existing video and audio LLMs right now.
Not yet. Yeah. All right. No, this is such a broad topic. We could go on and on,
Yeah.
but uh, But yeah, and we'll have many more conversations as you go along your journey as well. So, how many people do you have in your team right now, and where are you based out of, location wise?
So we have around 14 people right now in our team. I'm based in San Francisco, so we are a Bay Area company. We have a remote team, obviously, like spread out in various countries and regions. And most of our customers right now, they are based in the US. But like I said, we have actually expanding in Europe, so we are getting good traction in some of the regional languages like German and French. So that's where we are now, a little bit of expanding in Europe.
Nice. So, what's your vision with the company? Where do you want to see it in like a couple of years?
So we, like I said, we just started like about 8, 9 months ago. So the key objective for me especially and for the team is to have like a good customer base. So at least like 25, 30 enterprise customers where we can prove the technology, where we can see that hey, it works 100% before we scale up. Probably next few months or by end of the year, I think we should be able to achieve that goal. We have a lot of customers have seen aggressive growth with this technology. We want to acquire a few more good partners where we can prove that hey, this is an underlying technology. All the components that we are building, the whole AI infrastructure that we are building, it's gonna be useful. We have some of the partners, like we are working very closely with Cloudflare. We work with Amazon or Microsoft Teams quite a bit, so they help us out a lot. So yeah, in the first thing is like proving this model. It's a complex problem to solve, so we want to see that whether we can solve this problem efficiently and effectively, and then we're gonna go from there.
Cool. So I think this is interesting. Look forward to where Gracker gets to with all this. Yeah. What are your current asks from the market here? At Founder Journeys, we try and make some serendipity happen and see if there are people out there who can, meet any of the needs that you have.
So I'm sure like founder journey, a lot of like founders, entrepreneurs, they are listening to it. So if anybody is like building some cool things in B2B SaaS, especially in cybersecurity, and if you are struggling with distribution and growth, I would love to chat and see if our platform can help. So we can do a scan of your industry. Like I mentioned before, we primarily focus on cybersecurity as we are expanding into other SaaS tech. So yeah, if feel free to reach out, see if we can build some good product-led portal for you. A couple of AI agents that can give you the ideas. We have a lot of live portals on our site. So yeah, if you have any challenge with growth, if you are stuck somewhere, feel free to reach out, and I'd love to help you and see if our platform can help. Someone who is running agencies where they help customers in the growth and marketing, that could be another acceleration for them as well as for their clients. So yeah, if they can reach out, we would love to help them and deploy our platform, white label platform for them, as we are already working with a lot of agencies.
So outside of Gracker, I also see that you're doing a lot of, you have a lot of side projects and some of them in the nonprofit space. I know of a product you're building. How did that come about?
So yeah, very interesting. Thanks for jumping onto that. So yeah, we actually are building logic balls that's actually helping consumers. So the backstory goes in where a few years ago when OpenAI blew up, the whole media industry where everybody was like, hey, we can automate everything with AI. We can do a lot of things with AI. Tech people, they knew how to use LLM, how to use AI, but non-tech people, they had no clue how to use AI. Like if you talk to general people, they will keep asking me, "Hey, Deepak, like what is AI? How can we use it?" So that's where about a couple of years ago we just launched a small tool for non-tech audience. Again, it's not a fancy tool; it's just a wrapper. We just launched it over the weekend. We built some tool for people who want to travel, people who are looking. I don't know. First version was just like. I think electrician, plumber who want to create some small things, ask AI some specific things. So we created some templates and things, and it blew up. We got like in a month or so, we got like millions of views. A lot of people started reaching out, and then we just slowly started adding more and more templates for legacy industries like construction people, bookkeeper, like anybody you can think of. We have over 5,000 templates right now in Logic Balls. The big thing happened is blew up, but at the same time, the AI cost blew up too. So we had a massive bill came in at one point, and we were like, hey, I mean, yeah, people are using it, it's good, but at the same time, like we need to make a balance between the expanding and how people are utilizing it. So we launched some plans, like just we have a lot of things still free, like lot of, you can go use it as much as you want. We don't have any limits, we don't ask you to log in. It is completely open platform. But if you want some high usage, if you want to use some models, like, and then we integrated, I think, over 15 models. So not just open AI, but we have Claude, we have Gemini, we even have pretty much all the various, like, top 15 LLMs you can use it. So we have added a lot of features, a lot of capabilities, and small businesses, entrepreneurs, small teams, they can use it. And then we have a very cheap, effective model also, just to cover up our cost. So as you can see, like, and we give it for free to a lot of universities, education institutions, non-profit. So that is 100% free. We eat up the cost. So yeah, this is how we built this. We have over, I think, sign up customers also, like 300K plus users signed up for the product in last couple of years. And yeah, so this is how we have scaled up. So if you are non-tech person who don't know how to use AI, I would say go check it out. We have a lot of cool tools for you to try it out there.
So it's called Logic Balls.
Logicpods.com. Yeah.
Okay. Deepak, this has been great. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm really looking forward to what you where Gracker gets to and what you achieve here, and super stoked to even try out the product. I'm looking forward to seeing a demo of the product also sometime soon. I know you're building some cool stuff there. So yeah, looking forward to it.
No, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Sanjeev. It was great talking to you. A lot of good discussions, a lot of good learnings. So thanks again for inviting me at Founders Journey. It is a cool platform that you are building, and I hope a lot of founders can get a lot of value out of it.
Thank you so much.